what to watch out for in wholesale real estate in 2025. What's up, YouTube? It's Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. As we close out 2024, I want to make this video just addressing some things that I see happening in the wholesale real estate industry and things that you need to watch out for if you want to get started wholesaling, especially as a beginner. These are some things that you have to watch out for because things are changing. The landscape is just different than it was when I just started. I started like around the pandemic. Even since then, there's been a lot of changes. So here are a couple things I just want to highlight some changes. Let's stick to 5 things. So 5 things that you need to watch out for in 2025 in wholesale real estate. So the first thing I want to talk about is regulation. As you all know, more and more states and cities are restricting wholesaling in a way where they're either requiring some sort of disclosure or licensing in order for you to wholesale real estate. So if you're a beginner looking to get into wholesale real estate, you have to look up your city's laws. Sometimes you can't only look at your state because a specific city may have laws, but not the whole state. I believe it's Philadelphia that has a law requiring people to hold a license to wholesale real estate, but the whole state of Pennsylvania doesn't. So if you're in another major city in PA, you don't have to have a license. So looking up your bylaws, the different laws in your city, in your county, in your state is important if you're starting out wholesaling in 2025. And just be updated too, because more and more states, more and more cities are updating their laws. And these type of laws are laws that both sides agree with. And when I mean both sides, I mean both the left and the right. This is a topic that they usually come together. So, realtors have a really strong say in government policies. And so whenever they come with a new law to be passed, they have a lot of lobbyists, they have a lot of support. Both sides look at it, they a lot of times agree with them. And the thing with wholesaling is that there are a few bad apples, unfortunately, that taken advantage of buyers or sellers and wasn't completely transparent with people, and people just didn't understand certain things, and so they got scammed essentially. And realtors, they see this, and plus they see wholesalers as competitors. Realtors are like, hey, we just want to weed them out completely, not looking at the bigger picture of things. There are some realtors that work well with wholesalers and other investors, but there are laws getting passed by realtors because they see some of them genuinely have good intentions, and they heard of prospective clients that got scammed because of a wholesaler, and they're actually doing this with good intentions. And so because of all these different reasons, laws are being passed. So especially as a beginner, look into your state's laws, be on the lookout for more wholesaling regulation, either requiring a license or some sort of disclosure, fully telling people what you're doing. Like, you're not buying the property, you're going to look for a buyer, an investor to buy a property. The next thing I want to talk about is just the overall real estate landscape. And so this is going to be more broad, but when I really did well in wholesaling before I transitioned more into flipping and other things, wholesaling, especially during the time in 2020 with everything happening in the world, the pandemic, it was a little bit more easier because interest rates dropped completely. Number one, people started moving and working from home more and more. And so the market was on fire, right? The market started to get on fire. And so even the fear of the pandemic helped me get more properties because people are like, oh, I have this extra property, I don't know what's going to happen, let me just sell it. And then on top of that, more and more investors were looking for these discounted properties, and interest rates were so low that people were able to easily sell their personal property and move into a bigger and better place at a decent price. And so I was getting deals left and right during that time. Now, inflation is high, houses are way more expensive, and people are in their homes right now and they're locked into their mortgage rate. A lot of these potential buyers, because you're looking for people with equity, and usually people with equity have at least 4 or 5 years on their property. So this is pre-pandemic levels. And so their interest rates are either 3.5%, under 4% essentially. So it makes no sense for them to sell their house and go to a property where their mortgage is going to be in the 6%, their mortgage rates. And so even if it's the same price, it's because of the mortgage rate, it doubles their payment. So a lot of people are sitting still. They're not as motivated to sell their property, even if it needs a decent amount of work. Home Depot is is doing well and you see more of these reels and TikToks of people doing home improvements on their house. And I think all of that has an effect. And it's just things are just way more expensive. And so people are like, yes, I do need to upgrade. I need a bigger house. My family's growing, but for right now, I just can't afford it. And so people are staying put. Yes, the Fed is trying to lower interest rates now, but last time they lowered interest rate, it didn't really change the market. The market really did still slow down. Mortgage rates stayed high. And going into 2025, I see the same thing happening. I see, especially right now during the winter season, it's absolutely dead. Like I know a lot of investors that have properties just sitting on the market, but things should pick up in January, February, March, but it won't be to the levels of years before, right? I think mortgage rates are going to stay high, maybe in the 5%, but it may stay around 6%. And so as a beginner, if you're going into wholesale real estate, you have to understand the market. You have to understand that if a person is not just selling their second home, if it's their personal residency, you just have to be careful and figure out if this is the right market to start marketing. So I just think it may be a little bit more difficult in 2025, but you can still find deals. It's just the network that you have, the market. If interest rates truly drop, right? You know, we have a new president coming in and it seems like he's more for dropping rates. You know, the thing is when that happens, yes, you may have more people selling houses motivated to sell because they can get a lower mortgage payment. You're still going to have prices getting higher, especially having competition from other investors. But I don't want to deter people from wholesaling real estate still, because I still think it's a viable option for getting started in real estate investing. All right, so the third thing I want you to look out for in wholesale real estate is just the competition. I think more and more companies are setting up their wholesale operations as legit businesses and they're going nationwide. I remember back then, even a couple years ago, like even I would be watching gurus online, but they wouldn't have a nationwide wholesaling business. It would just be in their market, in Phoenix, in Las Vegas, in North Carolina, wherever it was. But now these companies just expanded everywhere. And so not only are you competing with your local investor, your local wholesaler, you're competing against corporations essentially. Like these people have investors, right, backing them and things of that nature. So that's something to look out for. The fourth thing I want you to watch out for in wholesale real estate is watch out for giving up. I know that's different. I know I just gave 3 reasons why probably wholesaling is not the best fit, but I think you need to watch out for letting distractions, letting shiny object syndrome, letting all these different type of marketing strategies stop you from actually getting into wholesale real estate. If you want to start January 1st, do one marketing. One of my previous videos, I talked about direct mail. Try direct mail for 3 months, or try cold calling for 3 months. Try texting for 3 months. At the end of the day, you have to be on the phone. So I think cold calling is probably the best, especially if you don't have a lot of funds to get started with direct mail. But starting or just working with realtors, I know a lot of beginners, they work with realtors, like they find for sale by owner properties and they know how to wholesale properties that way on market. But other than that, I think, watch out for giving up on wholesale real estate in 2025. Now, the fifth and the last thing I want you to watch out for in 2025 are your costs. Yes, wholesaling is not free to get started. It certainly is a more affordable route to get started in real estate investing, but it's not zero cost. And so watch for your costs. You don't have to get every software in order to get started. You don't have to get every data collector in order to get started. Just go one by one, just get yourself a good lead source generator. There's tons. Talked about a couple on this channel. You can use like PropStream. Check my link down below if you want a 7 free day trial. That's the main thing. And then, use other free softwares. Use Google Sheets, use Excel, use your Gmail, use these softwares too to have a website, to send mail, to keep your costs low. You have to watch out for costs because businesses are increasing their costs, right? I talked about how even mailers are getting more expensive. Text leads are getting more expensive. Phone calls are getting more expensive. That's why you shouldn't try everything. Watch your costs in 2025. Inflation is big, even in your personal life. It's the same in your business life. Things are getting more and more expensive. So especially if you're a beginner, watch your costs in 2025. I hope you all enjoyed this video on what to watch out for, what to look out for in 2025 in wholesale real estate. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts. Thank you.